Now it's time to find out the major stories making headlines across Nigeria this morning. We're joined by Chris Kehinde Nwandu, who's a publisher of CKN News. Good morning. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you. We kick off with this Nigeria newspapers this morning. Let's share with you the major stories. Blessings.
All right, taking a look at this Nigeria, we have at the forefront of the newspaper, protest march. Dialogue remains the best option. That's an advice to the president, of course. You know, they've always said that he should come out of the barricade that has been put around him and then speak to the people. And then, of course, we see Navy uncovering illegal bunkering site in private residence on page 10. And then the NDLEA nabs most wanted Lagos drug baron Temo after years of evading arrest on page 15. Then, of course, we take a look at Kebbi dissolving 21 local government administrators. That's found on page 9 of the newspaper. Then at the top of the newspaper, we see 311 billion naira foreign investments liquidated in 6 months, according to the Nigerian Exchange. And, of course, on page 8, we see Anambra State, tension as suspected herdsmen abduct 6 persons. That's on page 8 as well. And beneath the protest story, we also see Southeast governors and northern groups of Benin charging intending demonstrators to make sure that they have conversations as opposed to going on a protest. That's the story that we can take on this Nigeria newspaper this morning. All
right, let's quickly go to the Punch newspapers. It says here, big on your screen there, governors and ministers meet today to stop hunger protest. Reps ask for the government to embrace dialogue as Tinubu sues for peace. Abiodun Uzodinma, Bauchi governor, condemned planned rally. About Benin urges patience. Pilot hospitalized as a plane crash kills 18 in Nepal. Mayhem, I beg your pardon, as Fubara and Wike supporters clash in rivers. Dangote and local refineries to end fuel importation. Because also find on the Punch this morning, FG scholars decry 56% allowance cut as they fear expulsion. Foreign education, forex allocation tumbles 83%, says the CBN, and also residents groan over Lagos Air Force Base blackout. Well, those are the stories I will share. We're going to quickly get into it, you know, in interest of time. Chris Kehinde Nwandu, let's first of all start with the conversation surrounding the protest. We saw Governor Hope Uzodinma this morning in the news after meeting with President Bola Tinubu yesterday, along with Ayim Pius Ayim, and I believe the governor of Ebonyi State. And of course, you know, he also made his views known concerning the protest. He said that he doesn't know what the reason for the protest is because the sponsors of the protest haven't come out to express, you know, what their reasons are and all of that. But what are your reactions to the idea behind the protest and the government's reaction?
Well, first and foremost, there seems to be only 2 languages that Nigerian government understands. One is strike, second is protest, and that is germane. Most often than not, when Nigerians try to express themselves or cry out over issues, government just keep a deaf ear as if they don't understand. It has happened time and time again. You remember the issue of ASU, the issue of a medical association, a local government, name them, even students. But you just see those in government keep quiet as if nothing is happening. Then when you issue a strike notice or protest notice, you've seen them jumping out and trying to make issues. So this is not new. This is not the first time Nigeria are protesting. Nigeria protested severally. You remember vividly what's that one? The protest against fuel price increase during Goodluck Jonathan, Occupy Nigeria. Yeah. That all of us were at Ganifayemi Square drinking and eating fufu and the rest of them. There have been so many others before then. I have always said time with time number that protests can be peaceful. People say, no, it will be very violent. I say, no. A few weeks ago, the NLC had a protest, one-day protest, and you saw how peaceful it was. Why? Because security agencies provided the necessary protection, and that is the duty of security agencies. Let me state this fact that nobody can stop a protest in Nigeria. The Inspector General of Police cannot do that. The President of the Federal Republic, because they don't have the constitutional right. That issue has been trashed out at the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Yep. And the Supreme Court has said that protest is a fundamental human right, and every Nigerian can be able to protest anyhow, anywhere. But the caveat is that it must be peaceful. And how does it become peaceful? It is now for security agencies to make sure that they're able to give all the necessary security, barricade or whatever to make sure that it's... The third one is the fact that even government is not even making it easy. Now, they are designated, for Lagos and Abuja, I know, that there are designated places for protests in Lagos. In Lagos is the Gani Fahimi Park at Ojota. If you want to reach protest, that place was specifically designated for that. People can troop there. And in Abuja, there's the fountain. You know that fountain?
Unity Fountain.
That Unity Fountain in front of Nikon Hotel. That is another designated. But what has happened time and time again is that when I just want to take advantage of it, police will go there, barricade the place, they will not allow people to come in. And that is why people troop out. They've come with this narrative, oh, NSAS was very, very violent. No, that's what we said. NSAS was not violent. I'll tell you for free. That protest lasted for some days. At Lekki Tollgate, you saw Nigerians, celebrities, all sorts, everybody coming, talking. They were dancing, raising placards. It was so peaceful. It was not until security agencies came and started shooting at people and started that. Everything went, that was where the hoodlums took advantage and the mayhem. So those are the issues as well. But coming back to asking whether it's something that I personally, well, I would say it's neither here nor there. Are you not feeling the pain of hunger? A tuber of yam is about 7,000-8,000 naira, one tuber. It is for the first time in my life that I said it some time ago that I saw that in Nigeria they are now cutting yam into slider. I'm sure you must have been seeing it. Yes. They are now selling. I'll be 57 next month. I have never seen it in my entire life. They say, oh, the government has listened to us. They are giving us. They've approved the 70,000 naira minimum wage. How much is a bag of rice? A bag of rice is about between 78,000 and 80,000 naira. So even if the man buys a bag of rice, how you go cook them? Yeah. You understand what I'm trying to say? So those are the issues. And the problem with government is that they don't want to listen. Instead, some of them will be throwing out the spokesperson of government. Instead of assuaging the people that are trying to say, no, we're going to deal with them. It doesn't happen anywhere. But the best approach is to be able to identify those, the leaders of this thing, and the government can call them and sit down together. This thing that is everybody, they hunger, bros. Whether you get money, no, that is what we have is only the rich and the poor. There's that middle class. It has collapsed for long. Nigerians are suffering, and the earlier the government listens to what Nigerians are saying, the better. So, asking Nigerians not to protest, I said, is neither here nor there. But we have to listen. The government has to listen to their demands. And whatever the demands are, if it's something that can be met short term, long term, and it is not just through spokesmen. By now, I expect the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to be talking to Nigerians directly.
Yeah, I mean, I started the show by talking about how, he seems to have adopted President Buhari's
imagine, I didn't even know.
Staying in Aso Rock and not communicating with anybody, not having any media chats, not having any press briefings, absolutely nothing.
It's not, because that in itself has a way of communicating with people. When people see the body language of their leaders, then of course there's the tendency that if the president say, oh, I'm doing this, I'm going to do this and rest, and the president is not talking, and you're just asking process to talk to Nigerians, the possibility of them taking them seriously.
Isn't that already late, though? Because in one of the headlines, we saw that they were asking Nigerians to dialogue instead of, protest. So at this point, yes, we understand that communication should have been, the go-to approach, but we didn't see that. We haven't seen that in a while. We haven't seen that since he assumed office, So now asking him to dialogue, the question is, will dialogue at this point solve the problem? Because we've heard, the spokespeople of the president come and say, okay, let's give more time, instead of protesting, just give more time. But we've given enough time and we haven't seen anything. People are deciding to protest now and then they're asking for more time. So even if the president comes now and says, okay, he wants to talk one-on-one, will that dialogue solve anything? Do Nigerians trust the president enough? There's
no time that is too late for dialogue. I'm a member of Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, so I'm a professional doctor. Yeah, I know you are. Nice to know, comrade. I'm also a member of the Chartered Institute of Arbitration, United Kingdom. So when it comes to arbitration, when it comes to dialoguing and rest of them, never a time is too late. Doing the right thing is key. Identifying those that are trying to get this is key. You don't need to wait till the last moment. And as I said, communication is key. That's the way you talk to people and listen. They'll be saying, oh, look at what... I have said it time and time again. Look at what happened. That is why it started in Kenya. The Kenya government never took those young people seriously. Yeah. It was just a debate on increasing tax in the Kenyan parliament. It wasn't even about hardship. It was just tax.
Finance bill.
That finance bill. And the people were just, the president was blowing hot and said, no, we're going to do with them. The IG, the police, whatever, they was blowing, the security agents, they were going to, how many people you wanted? At the end of it, or before you knew it, it snowballed to what they couldn't handle. At the end of it, over 50 Kenyans lost their lives. At the end of it, the president had to swallow his spit, swallow his vomit and whatever, had to sack all his cabinet members, his cabinet. Even the Inspector General of Police in the equivalent in Kenya was also sacked. And you know the problem? The young people say, oh, no, that is not even what we want. What we want is for you to go. It has got beyond just what you are doing. Yeah. So that is why it is always key for our leaders to listen to the citizens, no matter whatever the situation. There is nothing that can aid dialoguing. Dialoguing is just the way out. So whether you get positive or not, but at least you make an attempt. So when you are defending yourself, you would have said, oh, I have been able to talk to them. We have dialogue. But somebody to a governor to come and say, I don't know what people are going to protest about. Yeah. Don't go on protest. That is barbaric.
All right. Hold on. Let's speak with someone from Abakaliki. Good morning, Paul. No, we seem to have lost Paul. But we didn't lose Paul, but if you can call us right back, we can talk about that. But you know what? Let's go to other things. We'll come back to the, the protest conversation later, I believe, because I also want to ask, if you're talking about dialogue, what new thing, would they have to say? They've had a year of communicating or not communicating. So what's the new thing that would, maybe assuage Nigerians and convince them this time that, okay, maybe, we didn't say this before. But let's talk about other things. Navy uncovers illegal bunkering site in private residence. What's your view on that one, and what does that tell you about the whole idea of bunkering in Nigeria, inability to meet our OPEC quota, the theft of Nigeria's crude oil generally? But hold on. Paul, once again, good morning.
Good morning, Paul.
Good morning.
Go ahead, welcome.
Good morning, sir. Yes, good morning. Yes, this is Paul from Abakaliki, Ebonyi State.
Yes, please go ahead. What's your opinion?
Okay. I am very happy with the man in the studio. On a very serious note, this country, our president, this very president, Tinubu, is never serious. He's taking the people for a ride. In fact, that man is too old to rule this country. In fact, let him go and enjoy the wealth he has accumulated from this country. And we are tired of all this dialogue all the time. We are dialoguing and dying. Everywhere, we are dialoguing and dying. We are tired of all this bogus methodology. Deceiving people every time. They can't listen to you. Every time they keep on calling on dialogue. Are we going to hit dialogue? This man should step down. This credible person that is concerned about this country, take up with the leadership. On a very serious note, they should learn from. Look at how Biden just gave up the leadership of America. They can't learn from them. Africa, I don't know what's wrong with Africa. Now, they are trying to rusticate Dangote refinery. The main problem with this country is fuel problem. Let this thing calm down. We are we are dying in masses, kidnapping everywhere, and they don't listen to the masses. Competent court has said, do this, they will not do it. Individuals will say, do it, they will not do it. Market people will come up, help us, they will not do it.
Thanks a lot, Paul. Thanks for your call, Mr. Nwandu.
Yes, just as I agree with him on the point of the issue of fuel. All the problem bedeviling Nigeria presently, not all, at least to a large extent, the economic woe we are suffering presently started from the day the president on the 29th of May 2023 on assuming office announcing the removal of petroleum subsidy. Now, as of the report coming out, we are hearing that we are spending about 777 billion naira per month to subsidize petroleum products. And you ask yourself, so which subsidy was removed? So what is the essence of removing this subsidy. That in itself has spiral effect on everything within the economy. The food, the problem you have in food, because also transportation comes to be coupled with insecurity and the rest of them. We've talked about the electricity, the tariff, so many things at the same time, and the level of taxation that on a daily basis Nigeria just and we are not, government is not providing all the necessary palliatives or whatever the measure they agree and they promise to do. None has been implemented to my satisfaction. So that is where the problem. Then coming to the question you asked about oil bunkering or whatever that was discovered, that is no news.
Yeah.
Good enough that it was security agencies that discovered that, but I've said it time and time again that most of these people, these bunkers cannot succeed without the connivance of our security agencies.
Yeah.
Because then...
Hold that thought. I apologize. Donny, good morning, calling from Lagos Island. Good morning, can you hear us?
Hello, good morning.
Please turn the volume of your TV down and then please go ahead.
Good morning.
All right. Mr. Nwandu, please go ahead.
Yes, so that is no news. The fact that they find it in the house is no news to me, because the major issue we are having is that the level of oil thefts within Nigeria is so high that we are not even meeting our OPEC quota. I think what we're producing now is between 1.3 or 1.2 or 1.3, and the OPEC quota is supposed to be about 1%. That is also the problem why we cannot be able to supply Dangote refinery. That Dangote has to now has to start importing crude from Brazil, from US, and you see what all the mess that is happening between the regulatory authority and Dangote, as well as NNPC. We have gone further to be able to acquire the services of an independent individual, somebody, to man the oil pipelines and all this. And we're paying billions and billions, and still this remains unabated. I will tell you for free that many security agencies officers pay to be posted to the Niger Delta. Many of them pay to be posted, if you understand what I mean, because they benefit from. The day we want the theft to stop, it will stop. We must have the will, political will, as leaders, as our leaders, to be able to make sure that. Just a few days ago, the president inaugurated a committee made up of security teams, and I saw the IGP come in, the CDS, everybody come in and standing before camera and say, oh, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. We have had that. We heard even more during the Buhari's regime. Right.
Good morning. We have a Kelechi calling us from, I believe, or Kogi. Good morning, Kelechi.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
Quickly, go ahead.
Yes, good morning, and thank you for the program this morning.
What's your thought this morning, Kelechi?
Yes, I want to just comment on the issue of the protest. Fine. Yes, I want to comment on the issue of the protest. But first and foremost, we need to understand that this government is not taking Nigerians serious. Nigerians are complaining of hardships. People are complaining of the way the economy is being run, the way the government is running the economy, and some individuals are not even telling the president the truth. A governor went to Asorok to meet the president, and he's asking, what are Nigeria protesting for? Why would Nigeria protest for? There is hunger in the land. They are not even addressing the major issues. Sending rice to different states, would that address the main issues? Talk to Nigerians and tell them how you'll be able to alleviate these issues. You say you have removed subsidies, you are still paying subsidies. People are dying of hunger. People will wake up in the morning, you will not even know the direction of where you want to be, the direction of your day. And the governor will go to the president and tell him on a national television that he does not know why Nigerians are protesting. These people are just taking Nigerians for granted. Nigeria is a peace-loving people. The youth are very peace-loving people, but the way these leaders speak, the way they talk as if they are not even living in this country, is provoking. The issue is just very simple. Talk to Nigerians.
All right, thanks a lot. Before we go, I want Mr. Nwandu to speak on the Southeast Development Commission, which, of course, the president assented yesterday. Ben Kalu is celebrating it. There's also the Northwest Development Commission, as well. But focus on the Southeast. You know, I had my own bits of criticism earlier, and I said that there are already ministries and departments and agencies that are set up, fully funded, to take care of some of the things that were mentioned as the reasons for the creation of the Southeast Development Commission. So why then do we need it? And the argument that the Southeast has been, you know, marginalized and abandoned for so long, the Southeast has had fair enough representation in the National Assembly for so long. So who exactly do we say was marginalizing the Southeast that has led to it to now, you know, demand or, you know, require a development commission?
I'm from the Southeast. So if we have, the same question should be asked, why do we have the NDDC?
Yeah.
Why do you have that of the North? I think there's one.
Northeast,
yes, Northeast, of course. Then I think there's one for Southwest also. I think there were two that were signed a few days ago. I can't remember.
No, right now it's the Northwest and the South.
No, that's the Northwest. Yes,
yeah.
That's what the Northwest. And so apart from that, you also have for the South, you have the Ministry of Niger Delta.
Yes.
If you understand what I mean. So the question you ask yourself, why should you have an NDDC and also Ministry of Niger Delta? Is because there's a huge disconnect between the government and those that are governing. It's because the money and resources that are supposed to be deployed to this area doesn't get to the people. It's because most of this money that are meant for developmental projects are not used. Let me use that of the NDDC and the Minister of Niger Delta, for example. Ask yourself, since the creation of the NDDC and Minister of Niger Delta, how has it touched the lives of people from the South? If you go to most villages in this area, this year alone, I think about 3 trillion naira have been budgeted for NDDC. And I will tell you that at the end of this year, you will not see anything to show for it. And the problem for me is not just the budgeting. You come to realize that those are the hems of these agencies are people from that region, from South. Hyper, the commission that was created by Buhari to clean up Ogoni land.
Yeah.
Few weeks ago, the president appointed somebody from the Southwest to head that agency. The people of Ogoni came out and shouted, saying, no, they don't want. Then he has to resort back to one Professor Nini or something, who is from Ogoni land, asking that since that creation of that very agency, has Ogoni land been cleaned? Trillions and trillions and billions of dollars have been. So what I'm asking, yes, I think that we have, it's not creation that is my problem. The problem in Nigeria has not been that we don't have enough law.
Yeah.
That has never been our problem. We have more than enough law to be able to tackle the things. The problem is implementation.
Yeah, but so, I want to ask, you know, because now you mentioned the NDDC. Yeah. You know, I did, you know, attend a media chat with the NDDC a while ago, and of course they were able to express, you know, some of the projects that they have, you know, been able to complete, you know, road projects, electricity, hospitals, schools, and whatnot, you know, and all of that. So, would you argue that there's maybe a higher expectation from the NDDC than we should have?
Have you forgotten the issue of off the mic?
Yeah.
Have you forgotten the issue of, have you forgotten that probe? What was it? Is it not about NDDC? Have you seen the report of that probe? With the billions and billions of naira that were mentioned at National Assembly during that probe that was stolen. Even the person that was in charge for the ministry, for that particular ministry, the Niger Delta ministry, is not the president of the Senate.
Yeah.
Has that issue been resolved? So it is more of corruption for me.
Yeah.
If we'll be able to do the needful, all this. So that's why I said, if you could create that of NDDC, why not that of Southeast? Why not that of Northwest? But the issue for me, I totally agree to you, is not just creating, but making sure that these agencies impact the people. That is the basic.
Right. We'll see. I mean, this is definitely going to be a developing conversation. We'll have more of it. We'll have more people from the Southeast join us to defend the need for the SEDC. Yes, that's what it's called. Chris Kehinde Nwandu, thanks always for joining us. Always a pleasure hearing your perspectives.
Thank you very much.
Stay with us.